All right, good morning, everyone. Oh, there we go. Welcome back. Welcome back. I need some more light back there. How we doing, everyone? That's not right. Nope, definitely don't want that. I'm playing with the lights here. HSI. I don't really like that either. We'll stick with that. All right. Still haven't really dialed in the lighting in this office, but maybe one day I'll take some time. I think it's good enough. Welcome back, guys. Pullbacks are good. That's our, and by the way, I'm wearing a hat because I need a haircut really bad. And I'm getting it tomorrow. So once I get a haircut, we'll take the hat off. All right. Welcome back, guys. Happy Tuesday. Yesterday, I mean, man, it just straight up off the open. I really don't even know what to say about yesterday. Straight up off the open, straight back down. Tough to be too aggressive there because of that move. You sort of just knew that eventually it was going to pull back, and it did. But some really nice outperformers, like Brian says, Amazon 227 break and retest, money yesterday, money. Google was strong again. Some Nvidia pullbacks were good. Some semiconductor downside pullbacks were good. There was a decent action. But I think what we talked about yesterday, I think is starting to come slightly true. I think we are spot on in our thought process about semiconductors being a little bit frothy and having to be a little bit careful on the semis because we had another high at that same 293 level, and we saw pullbacks on Nvidia, AMD, a few strong ones like ARM and Broadcom, but yeah, it was sort of weak on the semi side. It was definitely weak on the crypto side, and a lot of the high flyers are starting to get sort of taken out, right? The pigs are starting to get roasted a little bit, right? On Circle yesterday, Hood yesterday. Coinbase was okay, not bad. But a lot of these high flyers sort of getting some selling. A lot of people taking profits, right? Being very frothy. Now you're getting stocks like Open Door going up 200% in a day, right? So it's starting to get a little bit, you got to be careful what you're chasing out there, man. You can't just be, coming into the day and just, oh my God, I'm long this shiniest object in the market. At some point, you're going to get hit doing that. It may hurt missing it, but it also will not hurt when you are long at the wrong time on those names. So I say be careful with the shiny objects. You're starting to enter a shiny object market right now. You are. There's some tempting things, right, trying to pull you in different directions. But for now, I would continue to just stick to what you know. And what I know is trading those large cap tech, right? I see a little bit of semi weakness. That's going to be something I watch. I see some crypto weakness. We'll see if the pullbacks are just long opportunities, of course. I see Meta setting up a pretty interesting 4-hour chart. So just going to stick to the names we know. Oklo gave a nice pullback yesterday. OKLO, that's something to watch today. That's another big pullback yesterday off 70. Hood, right? Big pullback. So let's see. Let's see what we got today. Some key levels out there. Press that like button as you guys join in. Blessed. Appreciate that, brother. The coffee fund. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm one espresso deep. Maybe I'll get two going. Appreciate that, GOAT. Appreciate that, Blessed. All right, guys. Let's do it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Here we go. Let's slide. Oh, I forgot my... Hey, how you doing? I forgot I changed my face here. Okay, we don't want that. That is not interesting. Hello, my friends. Desi in the big circle there. Hold on. Bear with me. That's funny. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Should we just stream my face in a big circle the whole time? Alrighty. 2 espressos and a zin. I mean, that's a hell of a morning, no? Alright. So, here we go. Get the light back on me. NASDAQ futures. We have pulled back, and it is a very good pullback. Yesterday, straight up. Okay? Look. Bam. Literally vertical. Not going to hold up. It's not going to hold up. So, very important, right? We sort of tried to hold up in the intraday. We created this little channel. What did we do? We failed below it. There's your downside continuation, right? Now, today, where have you pulled back to? Back to these previous highs, and you're trying to hold it right now, right? And you're trying to create this little flagging pattern, right? You have this little flag that's forming. Is this a very nice pullback, right? Is this exactly what you want to see? Very possible. And is that a good pullback? Yes. You can't go like this, right? You can't. Can't do it. So, it's good that this happened same day. I'm very happy to see that because guess what? It provides this opportunity. We have an opportunity to take the market long again on maybe a more controlled upside move versus just a ridiculous straight up right off the open. So let's watch 270 to 300 today, right? 270 to 300. Let's keep an eye on that zone. Very, very clear. Nice check, nice flag. Let's see if we can get a move higher. Now, for me, I need to see this break right here today on the NASDAQ futures. I think there is some concern longing back into that high right there, right around the 23,370. I'm just going to put it at, put it right there. I think there's some concern to be long back into that level, so let's watch out for that today, right there. And then also, of course, the highs right here, right? So you have this low that was trying to be created yesterday that turned into a break and retest rejection. Very nice. Beautiful break and retest rejection. Now, if we can get over 23,370, right, and reclaim it, that would be the long thing to look for. That would be a reclaim ripper, right? That's your RR right there. Reclaim ripper. Reclaim that high, reclaim that low, bam, 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 right? There you go. After holding a nice pullback long spot and break, it's probably, right, you'd be breaking the downtrend, you'd be reclaim ripping, right? That would be a beautiful long to look for today, back over 23,370. So let's see if that happens. Now, of course, I think there's possible, deeper pullbacks to be had. I still think there is even better levels below to be watching. Below 270, I still think it's great back to 200, right? I still think it's great anywhere between 200 and 150, to be honest. And I still think it's great even back down to 23,100, 23,070. So even if we do fail lower, I still think these are great pullback longs. But for now, right, you can see what's trying to hold up. So let's watch 23,270 to 300. Let's keep an eye on this zone right here. If that zone fails, you're going to trade back to Friday's lows, right in here. If Friday's lows fails, you're going to trade back to this Thursday bounce level that pretty much created this whole upside expansion move. 23,370, 23,425. ES. So yesterday, straight up off our 63.40. I mean, literally to the cent yesterday morning. 63.40 tapped in the pre-market, and then we just rocketed. So that was our key level yesterday, 63.40 here on the ES. If you guys came to the live stream, you knew we were watching 63.40, 63.35. And that was this zone right here that we pointed out, and you can see that held. It held, it went up, it came right back down. Is there a potential trap buyers here? There is, right? There's possibly a trap, this is potentially little trap buyers, potentially leading to more downside here. Because all these traders right here, they're sitting on an island. This is Guantanamo Bay. Is Guantanamo Bay an island? This is Rikers Island right here. You guys know Rikers Island. Everyone in the Northeast. Here's Rikers Island, right? They're locked up here. And if we stay under this high right here, if we stay under this 57.55 area, you got Rikers Island right here. The buyers are stuck in there. Guantanamo Bay is not an island? All right. So Rikers Island, we know that's an island. Yeah, not a good place to be, right? That's not a good place to be, right up there. So that's a concern, right? That's a concern. 63.57, right? This is potentially a rejection. And if that stays as a rejection, then this is trapped, right? So be careful there today. You're probably going to want to see us get back over this 57 high right here. And if we don't, you might be looking at something like this, right? And you might need our 63.15 to 63.10 level. I think that's very possible, right? We might need that. So if we pop higher today, we could trap some bulls, right? Again, thinking we're going to go higher. If this area right here, in my opinion, between 53 and 57 rejects again, and this fails, we could possibly be looking for that move back down to the 63.15, 63.10. That's if you break under the 35 lows, right? On a little maybe break and retest rejection. Okay? So I'm a little bit cautious up here, right? Right up on that ES. I do like the pullback long. It is good. We're still holding above these previous highs. So you can't really be bearish right now. But, right? That's something to be careful of, okay? If we do break this low, I think you should be watching Friday's lows. Of course, it's a Friday low a day, so I think there is a reason to have that on your charts. I don't think it's a major level, to be honest. Like, I think you just sort of have this as a Friday low a day. I think it's proper to understand where that is. So I think, it's good to put a level there, right? You don't want to really be short right into Friday low a day. That could definitely cause a bounce. So I think it's proper to have that level there. But the key demand, and where I think it would end up ultimately, is 63.15, 63.10. Okay? All right, so that's my ES. Daily 20 catching up. That's going to be good. We need that to happen, right? The daily 20 is going to need to catch up. The Friday low a day is important. I think you put that on your charts. I don't think it's that big of a level, though, and here's why I say that, guys, right? Look at how this level reacted in the past. Slicing right through price action, right through, right? There's no reactions. This is when I say, like, when I don't like a level. This is an example of why I don't like this level, right? It didn't really cause anything on these days, right? It's just sort of straight up, straight down through it. Nothing really causing reactions. But this is something to pay attention to, and that is a Friday low a day. So there is some reason to be watching it, for sure. However, like when I see this, right? Here, right? I know that's a level, right? Because I see all those reactions at it. So very, very clear there. Okay? Little bit of concern here, my friends. Little bit of concern. There's a reason that the market would try to pop higher. And if it doesn't have the juice to get back above and it sort of stalls out again here, you might need the lower levels. Okay? Little bit of something to watch. All right? And it's the same thing here on the SPY. Take a look at the SPY. All right? Here. Rikers Island, right? Rejections, if that comes in again at 629.50, 630, you're leaving behind a bunch of people here, and this is going to sort of lock the door right there, and this is likely going to create some downside. It's very possible. That's only if you break 628, though. You got to break 628. If you break 628, then you get down to the 626.50, then you get back down to our 625. But you got to break 628 here. You got to fail under that Tuesday high. Right now, it's still holding. So it's still bullish, right? There's not, just because we're saying there's a high here does not mean we can't hold Tuesday's highs, reclaim it, and just continue this rip. There's nothing stopping that from happening. So if you get too cute today and you start shorting, right, while we're still holding this Tuesday high, and you start thinking, oh, I'm going to short for the next big downside move, and this happens, you're going to be stuck with your hands in your pants or your pants on the ground, right? One of the two. And you're going to think it's manipulated, but it's not. So 628, that really needs to break before you can start to think about downside action. You're still got a huge Friday low here, which is, again, dangerous to short into. And you're still above this major 625. So is our mindset of trying to pick a top the right thing to be doing right now? It's not. It's not. It's not the mindset that you want to be walking into today with. Could you be cautionary of a potential high here? Yes. Right? You could be cautionary of the potential rejections here. Right? You could be just sort of aware what's going on, but that's not like I'm going to build a short thesis and catch the top. Right? That's not the thought process here. It can't be, because that is not a bullet. That is not a winning strategy in a uptrending market. Could you be aware of it and not get blindsided? Yes. Right? We can't be blindsided here. You can't, a prepared trader should not be blindsided if this fails. There's no excuse, right? This is very clear. If this fails again, then very expected. I wouldn't wake up later. I wouldn't, at the end of the day today, I wouldn't be like, holy shit, I can't believe that happened. I would be like, yep, that makes a lot of sense, right? That makes a lot of sense that we failed there again. So you're prepared for it, but you're not shorting, your whole account because you're trying to catch a top. That's not smart. So let's just react on what we see, okay? QQQ, there's still levels below, right? The QQQ still has strong levels below here, right? So look at this. QQQ, right here, you're still holding like this 620 or this 526 spot. Let me go ahead and zoom in here on the 15-minute. You're holding some of these previous highs right here around 562, 562.50, right? You're seeing some holds come in there still. If you break 562, then I think you will get your move back to Friday lows to 560, right? If you break 560 Friday lows, then you're going to come back down to your 557. Okay, so you could start to, look for that downside if we start breaking these levels, right, and just play it level to level. You can see there's a little bit of concern of, I'd say, this Friday high around 564 as the rejection point, right? You can see it's sort of rejecting right now. And on the NASDAQ, right, it's like right around this. I mean, to me, it's still up here around the 23,370. On the QQQ, that is up right here. So it's right there at it's really like 565, 564.80s, right? That really looks to be the major rejection point right there, right here, right here. Anywhere between 564.50, yeah, it's like right in there, 564.50. See that? This low, this high, right in here. That lines up pretty damn good with that NASDAQ area between 23,370 to around 23,360. Yeah, it's like right there. See this? That could be a little bit of a failure point right there. I would be aware of that. Okay? All right. What do we got on the likes? Are we bad? Is it looking bad? 2,200, 700 likes. Press the like button. Press it. IWM, good pullback yesterday. Rejected again the 226. So that 226 is starting to become a brick wall. That is starting to really show up. I like how the daily 20's catching up here, though. So I would be watching the daily 20 still, right? Just because we're rejecting that high doesn't mean we can't find something at this daily 20. So watch out for that daily 20 at 220, right? See that? 220 on IWM. See that right there? You break that, you break the daily 20, we're coming back here to 217.50. But we're absolutely starting a channel here on the IWM. So just know that. You definitely have a high stuck up there at 226. Field trip to Rikers Island. Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be my meetup. Desi meetup, Rikers Island. Come on in. Welcome. Press the like button. All right. So Let's talk about the SMH. What did we talk about yesterday on the SMH? We talked about the caution of 293 becoming a rejection point. Look at what happened yesterday, my friends. Another high at 293. That is now 4 tops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 293, right? Look at those rejections. So, what is this telling me, right? This is telling me that I need to be careful, that there is potentially a high or a failed breakout move coming in on the SMH. And if this does weaken, it will weaken the market, right? Because this is the strongest of the sectors. So you're starting to see some failure up here. There's no doubt, right? 4 days in a row, we can't get through 293. So if you get a pullback on AMD, if you get a pullback on Nvidia, if you get a pullback on Broadcom, if you get a pullback on MU, you can't sit here and be surprised, right? It's not like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is ridiculous. No, it's okay. The SMH has topped 4 days in a row now. I have plenty of time to react to this. So I need to be aware of potentially being long semis. I need to be aware of being long anything if I start to see this continue to fail. That's very clear. So even, right, that straight up action yesterday morning pushes right into 293, and not even that could get us above that high. So there is definitely some clear selling going on up here at 293. No doubt. Now, if we do not reclaim 289 today, and we turn this into a rejection, my friends, we're coming back down to 285 here, right? It's just simply what's going to happen. If we do not get back over 289, if we do not reclaim and rip back up over 289 here, we are going to see this turn into a lower high, and we're probably going to see a downside move into 285, back into these lows here. So if that happens, you guys already know that AMD gap is very interesting to me. So I'm going to be watching this very closely today. Joe, appreciate that, Joe. Thank you for the coffee, my friend. Blessed. Like, subscribe, and share. That's right, brother. Appreciate the 3 months. Thank you for all your support, my friend. All right. So, 289, 293. It's a very clear picture here. Got to get over 289. If we reject 289 today on SMH, you're looking for some SMH downside. It's pretty damn clear. Tesla. Great pullback yesterday. What a nasty little Tesla yesterday morning. This, my friends, is why you don't chase Tesla. And this, my friends, is why you don't chase anything off the open, right? Here we go. Here's your open on Tesla, right? Oh, shit, right? Tesla's going straight up. Next candle, right? Let's go next candle. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. And just done. I mean, you're done within 5 minutes. Right? Again, a great example of why you wait for the break and the retest, and you look for it start to hold up, right? Tesla never even attempted to hold back over that 336, which was our key rejection spot. It just went straight up and straight down. Right? Look at that. Great example of why you need break and retests above key levels, right? You got the break, but you needed a retest and a maintain above it. You did not do that. You had a break and a straight down move, right? So very, very good there on Tesla. Good no trade on the 336 break. Failing straight back under it. Failing under Friday's highs as well, right? You can see right there. Now, this is a good pullback, right? Don't think that it's not. It's a good pullback because look what Tesla's doing, right? It's right back to these highs here. It's right back to these lows here. Right? And it's coming, and you can see it's starting to hold back at that 50 daily moving average. So it's not a bad pullback on Tesla. However, here's your problem. There's a few problems here. First problem is you're back under 331, right? So guess what? That door has closed. So you now are looking at this, right? This is realistically your trade on Tesla. The only way Tesla goes higher here is if you do this. Over 331, hold above 331, and then you possibly look to long it back into 336 on a hold back over these highs and a hold back over Friday's highs. That's really the only long here. Now, the next problem you have here is that earnings are tomorrow, and the likelihood is that Tesla probably does jack shit until earnings at this point. So I'd be careful at 331, and I'd be watching the holds at 324. But for now, I'd say this is now locked, right? I think it's locked up. to be honest, inside this channel. And for me, I'll probably wait until earnings to really take any action on this. Nvidia, we've had this huge bold text on our charts for about, basically about 5 days now. And you can see buy zone, right? Look at that buy zone. Look what happened. Look at 169. Look at how it's starting to get bought up there again. Now, here's the thing, okay? This comes back to what the SMH does today. If the SMH rejects today, and Nvidia fails to reclaim 170-150, right? And you can see what happened yesterday. Look at 170-150 yesterday. So you had lows on Friday at 170-150. You tried to hold them on the intraday yesterday. Look what happened in the after hours. Break, retest, rejection. Big time. Beautiful. I mean, a beautiful break and retest rejection. Unfortunately, it happened in the after hours. But you can see a low, a low, a low, a break, a retest, a rejection, right? Bam. Look how beautiful. Gorgeous. So what does that mean? That means today you really can't really be long into 170-150, because guess what? If you long into 170-150, you're going to be exposed to this again. So you need a break and hold back above 170-150, back above these lows. If you get that, then I do like the long. Possibly back into like the 173s. I'll actually go ahead and put a level there because it looks like it's proper to have a level there actually. Back into 173s. Now, there is a gap below on Nvidia. And if that SMH does weaken, I think underneath 168, you're going to see pretty aggressive downside to 166 and possibly back to 162. And that is because of this right here. See that right there? You might need to fill some of that in. That would be back to 166 or possibly back down to 162.50. But right now, the buy zone is holding. 169, 168, still holding. So keep an eye on that zone today. AMD, very, very clear short setup. I would hope it sets up today. We shall see. What do you need to see on AMD for a short to set up? You need to see these highs here, these lows here, and the lows from yesterday turn into a rejection. You need to see this happen today. A top, a failure to move higher, and a continuation to the downside. That's what you need to see. You cannot reclaim 157. If you reclaim these highs and reclaim these lows and turn that back into a hold level, this is going back higher. Probably back towards like the 160s, possibly like the 158s, 160s, but regardless, it's going back higher. If you hold back above 157. Now, if you turn 157 into a rejection, that keeps the door open to the downside move to 153, and that keeps the door open to the gap fill to 148, which would be the best trade in my opinion. I would love to see that happen, especially with the SMH, right? If the SMH can reject this high and AMD can reject this high, I think that lines up really, really nicely. Something I would absolutely be watching today on AMD. Would love, love, love to see that. So let's see if it plays. Let's see if it plays. Broadcom, huge move yesterday. Beautiful strength. 285 is your new level. 280, 285. Let's see what happens off those levels. Regardless, Broadcom is just a monster. I mean, it's a monster. 288, possibly a little bit of a rejection spot here. You can see this 288 spot sort of failing. Maybe we keep an eye on that a little bit, but don't think I would short Broadcom right now, man. If anything, I'd short like an AMD gap, but Broadcom is just a monster. If you break under 285, maybe you get the move to 280. But pretty much for me, I mean, any pullback on Broadcom is going to be more of an interesting long. So 280, 277. Let's see if it pulls back a little bit. TSM gave back the entire earnings move as expected. We're back at the 236. Let's see what happens there. ARM, beautiful move yesterday. ARM was our sort of swing trade watch off that daily 20. It's been great since. You can see ARM is actually holding up pretty damn well today. All right, take a look at ARM. Previous highs, look at these lows. Not bad, man. Break, retest. This is one that still looks very bullish to me. So it's a mixed bag on those semis, right? It really depends on what this does today, right here. If the SMH reclaims 289, you're back in business on some strength. And if it does, I think you watch ARM, right? You watch to see if ARM turns these previous highs, right here, into new lows, which it's starting to do right now. So sort of interesting there. Rejections 164.50, rejections 168 possible. Daily 20, sort of floating below still. Let's see. Yeah, let's go to Google. Google has been awesome. Google yesterday held that 189, 190 zone perfectly. That was one of our that was our zone there yesterday, 189, 190. That was right here on the 4-hour chart. If you look at this 4-hour, this is where Google just held above, guys. Look at this. Google just held above these highs right here, right? See this rejection, rejection, rejection? And look at these lows right here. Look at all these 4-hour lows. Google just broke, retested, and held above this zone, right? You can see right here. I mean, pretty sick yesterday. Look at that. Bam. Straight up off 189. A huge reclaim for Google. Sort of gone, unfortunately. Next level is 195. This right here. Next level, 195. If we get over 195, you might be looking into the 200s here, my friends. Yeah, I'd say 200 would be next. 199.50, 200. So, what do you want to see here on Google? I mean, to be honest, you want a pullback? You'd like a pullback, probably back down to that 189, 190 zone for an opportunity long right in here. But for now, 195 is your next level, and it's going. Amazon, another, 227. I know I saw some of you guys take this yesterday. I was going to take this yesterday, and I sort of didn't do it. And a little bit regretful, but also I think I was smart yesterday. That straight up move on the market yesterday sort of kept me into some low positions, low size positions, and just didn't really get anything going yesterday. 227, you guys can see right here, rejection, 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 right? Look at all those 227 rejections on Amazon. Take a look at this yesterday. Look at 227. Break, retest, consolidation above 227. Just pretty much the rest of the day higher on Amazon. Beautiful off 227. Next level here is 230, which you can see we're messing around with right now. 230. Above 230. 233. Above 230, 233 here. If you can hold above 230 today, you got 233 next. Above that, you're sort of right back up to these all-time highs. So I'd watch 230, I'd watch 233. I would love, love, love pullbacks to 227. That would be the best entry, right? 227. Let's see if we can get us back to that level today. Meta. Very interesting. Took this long yesterday on Meta off 710. Was a good trade. Didn't get that much continuation, but this could just be setting up a bigger position here. So watching Meta very closely today. Look at Meta here. Meta. Previous lows. Previous lows. Turning into rejections here, right? Failing and turning into rejections. What did Meta just do? It turned it back into support. Meta back over 710, 713, back into support. Look, this is very interesting. I'd say for a long into 728, personally. If Meta can get back above that daily 20 today and start to, put in a new floor above the daily 20, I would be very interested in Meta higher. 4-hour chart has been something that has been setting up for quite some time, right? These previous highs, look at the hold. These lows, look at the hold. This looks like it's ready to curl again. I would definitely be watching Meta here. You have yourself a nice pullback. I'm definitely eyeing Meta over the daily 20 today a little bit. Let's see if we can find something above that previous high day. Definitely a watch. Let's go to Coinbase. Coinbase just having a lot of problems with those IPO highs. It's pretty expected, right? Think about all the people that have been holding Coinbase since IPO day. So they have been bailed out for almost 4 years later. They're back to break even or possibly bullish, right? Or possibly in the green. So you're going to get a lot of unloading at this level, which you're obviously seeing. I would be a little bit careful trading near this high. This is definitely a huge high. It's holding up pretty well, though, so I really can't say that it's like looking like it's going to break down because of that, right? It's still holding perfectly well. Coinbase still holding above that 406, 396 area. Still turning these previous highs into lows here. So the structure is still very much intact, right? Look at the structure here. Still very good. So you just want to be long at the right time. And so for me, I want to be long somewhere in here, targeting here, right? Or let's see if we can get a hold above this high, right? What you need on Coinbase is a daily close above here. You need it to close above that level. Hood, good pullback, yes. Oh, shit. Hood's already finding the bounce. Yeah, shit. Okay. Yeah, Hood's already finding the bounce, which I was sort of interested in today. Let me go ahead and I'll mark this out in a second. But look at what Hood did, my friends. It did exactly what we were waiting on. These highs, these highs, these highs, these lows. Look at that pullback. 100, or I'm sorry, 101. Look. Highs, highs, highs. Break, retest. This could really be another opportunity on Hood here. Look at that right there. Look at how that's holding right here. Very interesting. What would I want to see it back above? I think at this point, I think you need to clear back over 107 though, right? Look at this. 106.50, 107 right here. I'm not sure I want to be long into that low, these highs, right? I don't think I want to be long right into that. So what I would look for today is I would set an alert right over 107. Above 107, if I can get above 107 and a reclaim ripper, right, that would be really nice. So above 107, I'd be long Hood, or back down to 101, personally. That looks right. Palantir. Palantir, good pullback, necessary pullback. You are back over the 150. Sort of want to give it 152. Yeah. If I look at this, I sort of think it's 152 where you rejected here in the after hours, right? So back over 152 would be the long. Under 152, you still have the possibility of a lower high rejection. And then you'd probably move back to 148. Yeah, so I like 148 as a demand. I like 145 as a demand, and I'd be careful of 152 as a rejection. Aqua, yeah, 65. You got it. This, see there, guys. Look what's happening. Okay, what are we seeing here? We are seeing the potential of previous lows turning into failure points now, because of yesterday, right? Look at OKLO, previous low, yesterday rejection could be another rejection today. Look at Hood, previous low, could be a rejection today, right? What did we just look at? Hood, Aqua, what was the other one I just, Palantir, right? Previous low, into rejection possibility, right? We're starting to see that potential. It's not, that wasn't happening when the market was going straight up because we weren't breaking, we never broke a previous day low. You have stocks that have broken previous day lows. That's important to pay attention to. So you're under Friday lows on Palantir. You're under Friday lows on Hood. You're under Friday lows on Aqua, right? You're under the Friday lows. If you are under the Friday lows turn into potential rejection points. Where's the bullish thing? The bullish move is a reclaim over Friday's lows. If you can reclaim 65, if you can reclaim 152, if you can reclaim 107, then that's bullish, right? So that's what I would be looking for. If you want to be long today, you got to reclaim these Friday's lows. If you do not get those reclaims of Friday lows, then you're still bearish. Not bearish, but your short-term rejections are there. Apple, failure of 215 again. I'm not touching that thing. I lost again on that. 215's got to break for me on that one. Yes, Circle pulled back. pulled back to our retest level. However, I need to see more. I need to see a hell of a lot more here. You are back under this 213.50 spot, right? And you're turning it into rejections right now. Look at 213.50. So I need to see us definitely back above 213.50 there. You do have the daily 20 right here, which is good. But get me back over 213.50. That's what I'd look for. And then you also have, right? Don't forget, you also have those Friday lows. It looks like 222.50 area, right there. So I want to see back over 213.50, and I want to get back, maybe trade it back into 222. But I need to see at least back over 213.50 there. Datadog, still looking good on this one. Nice maintain yesterday. I would like to see it hold 144 today. You guys can see 144 held nicely again yesterday. So you're holding that Thursday high. You did not break under Friday's lows on Datadog, which is good. If we can hold 144, I like this still up into the 147, over 147 into 152. You got to hold, I think, 144 or possibly 142. I want to see this area step up. All right, anywhere between 144 and 142 needs to continue to be a demand zone for Datadog. As long as you're holding in this zone right here, I think you're good. Under 142, I think this sort of fails back down, and I'd probably be out of my position. But for now, watching 144, 142 here. 147 is the rejection point. Boeing, I've been waiting for the pullback on Boeing, man. It's going to happen, right? You can see Boeing starting to fail to move higher. I need this pullback. This is the money spot right here on Boeing. We've been waiting for this for weeks. Let's keep waiting. Got to let it come to us. That's it. I think that's going to be about it for me today, guys. Open is flying again. Yeah. Be careful up at this $5 area on open, guys. First of all, be careful trading this stock. I want to say that first. If you go to the daily chart, right, check out this daily on OPEN, open door. Right here, guys. See this? See this zone right here? See this zone? You have highs, you have highs. Anywhere between 489 and 554. Sorry, 554. 540. Where does that come out of my mouth? How does that come out of my mouth? 540, 489, $5 right there. See those two highs? This zone right here, look at what happened there yesterday. Bam. Big rejection. I mean, big rejection there. So, is it that interesting to long back into that? Probably not. If you maybe get above this area, then sure, we could look for it. But yeah, I'm not going to chase that into that high. It's really sort of a heavy spot. Toast has been pretty good for pretty good. It's been holding up that 40s. I'm still waiting for 49 though on Toast. Put an alert there. Uber, what's Uber been up to? Yeah, Uber's been holding that 90 spot, but you're still back under that 94. I'll create an alert there. TSM short. I mean, if you want to short TSM, you got to get back under these highs, man. I would not short back onto these highs. Right here, 236. I wouldn't short into that. Maybe under it, but then you're shorting into the daily 20, so just be careful of that. Guys, I'm not going to start looking at these penny stocks, shit stocks that are going higher. Not yet, man. These are just going to be flyers. If you want to be trading these names, you're just going to have to throw in money you don't care to lose. I mean, if you're going to trade Kohl's, and you're going to trade Open Door now, and you're going to start trading AMC again, right? I mean, this is just hope. You know, you're hoping for the best on some of those, man. CRWV, not really interesting on that. APP, 380, still rejecting. OSC, yeah, I mean, that was, you know, a big pump and dump there on that one. I mean, guys, please, just because you're getting some, you know, you're getting some small caps getting pretty juicy, you got to be careful what you start straying yourself away from, man. This is where you start straying from strategies. This is when you start straying from strategies. When you get some of these juicers on the small caps and you start straying the strategy, all right, you got to be careful. You got to be careful what you're doing. You got to make sure you stay under control. Reddit, it's been a pretty good hold at this 140 spot. I still have this, like, this alert's been sitting here for how long? I don't even know. All right, I'm still waiting for 155 to break here. So, yeah, nothing really. JP Morgan was a fucking sick break and retest here. Sorry for cursing. Look at this. 280, beautiful. Goldman Sachs could be interesting off this daily 20 here. Okay, so anyone that's, here we go. All right, this is what I'm going to leave you off with. This is my educational tip for the day. We've talked about this before. We've talked about time correction versus price correction, right? Time correction versus price correction. What has Goldman Sachs done here? Goldman Sachs has moved higher, right? And extended itself past the daily 20, right? So a lot of people would say, hey, we need a little correction here. We're too overextended. We're overextended past the moving averages. Goldman Sachs needs to come back lower. Now, there's two ways for that to happen. There's either a price correction where Goldman Sachs fails back lower, back into the daily 20, and then goes back higher. Or there's something called a time correction. And a time correction is what Goldman Sachs has done, right? It's channeled sideways for almost 2 weeks now while the daily 20 catches up to price action. That's a time correction. And so now Goldman Sachs could have another leg in it because technically it's corrected. Even though it didn't move lower in price, it did let the moving averages catch up. So that's sort of interesting there. All right? That's sort of interesting there. I would sort of keep an eye on this just a little bit. Maybe putting a little alert over 720 to see if it starts getting going here. Off that daily 20. All right, guys, that's going to be it. If you want to trade live with me every day, down in the description below in the Discord community, where we continue to go through these on a daily basis. Not sure if we're going to be in WAP or Zoom today. I'll let you guys know momentarily. But, of course, if we're in Zoom, make sure to check out the links in our announcements tab. I will make sure to send out an alert that we're in Zoom. Hopefully, WAP is working today. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you could, before you head out, please press the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Freeway Hustler. Appreciate that, Freeway. New to the channel, definitely appreciate the info. Learning a lot on how to find levels. Appreciate that, Freeway. What car we got, Freeway? Oh, I bet you. Shout out to our truck drivers, man. I think Freeway Hustler is a truck driver. Shout out to our truck drivers. Appreciate that, man. All right, guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.